Crete is the largest and most populous of the Greek islands, and the fifth largest island in the Mediterranean Sea, after Sicily, Sardinia, Cyprus, and Corsica. Crete and a number of surrounding islands and islets constitute the region of Crete, one of the 13 top-level administrative units of Greece. The capital and the largest city is Heraklion. As of 2011, the region had a population of 623,065. Crete forms a significant part of the economy and cultural heritage of Greece, while retaining its own local cultural traits. It was once the center of the Minoan civilization, which is currently regarded as the earliest recorded civilization in Europe. Name: the island is first referred to as Kaptara in texts from the Syrian city of Mari dating from the 18th century BC, repeated later in Neo-Assyrian records and the Bible. It was also known in ancient Egyptian as Keftiu, strongly suggesting a similar Minoan name for the island. The current name of Crete is thought to be first attested in Mycenaean Greek texts written in Linear B, through the words Kerete and Keresijo, Cretan. In ancient Greek, the name Crete first appears in Homer's Odyssey. Its etymology is unknown. One proposal derives it from a hypothetical Luvian word *cursata. In Latin, it became Creta. The original Arabic name of Crete was Icritus Kappa Rho Eta Tau Eta Sigma, but after the Emirate of Crete's establishment of its new capital at Rabd al-Andak, both the city and the island became known as Chi Alpha Nu Delta Alpha Xi or Chi Alpha Nu Delta Alpha Kappa Alpha Sigma, which gave Latin and Venetian Candia, from which were derived French Candy and English Candy or Candia. Under Ottoman rule, in Ottoman Turkish, Crete was called Girit. Physical geography: Crete is the largest island in Greece and the fifth largest island in the Mediterranean Sea. It is located in the southern part of the Aegean Sea, separating the Aegean from the Libyan Sea. Island morphology: the island has an elongated shape. It spans 260 kilometers from east to west, is 60 kilometers at its widest point, and narrows to as little as 12 kilometers. Crete covers an area of 8,336 square kilometers, with a coastline of 1,046 kilometers. To the north, it broaches the Sea of Crete, to the south, the Libyan Sea, in the west, the Myrtoan Sea, and toward the east the Carpathian Sea. It lies approximately 160 kilometers south of the Greek mainland. Mountains and valleys: Crete is mountainous, and its character is defined by a high mountain range crossing from west to east, formed by three different groups of mountains. The White Mountains or Lefkarori 2,452 meters, the Idi Range, Kedros 1,777 meters, the Diktai Mountains 2,148 meters, Thripta 1,489 meters. These mountains lavished Crete with valleys, such as Amari Valley, fertile plateaus, such as Lassidi Plateau, Omelos and Nida, caves, such as Gurgaldukas, Diktayan, and Idayan, and a number of gorges. Gorges, rivers and lakes: the island has a number of gorges, such as the Samaria Gorge, Imbros Gorge, Cortaliotico Gorge, Ha Gorge, Platania Gorge, the Gorge of the Dead and Richtus Gorge, and waterfall at Exomuliana in Siscia. The rivers of Crete include the Ieropotamos River, the Koiliaris, the Anapodiaris, the Almyros, the Geophyros, and Megaspotamos. There are only two freshwater lakes, Lake Cornus and Lake Aegea, which are both in Hania regional unit. Lake Volismeni at the coast, at Argios Nikolaos, was formerly a sweetwater lake but is now connected to the sea, in Lassidi. Lakes that created by dams also exist in Crete. They are three: the Lake of Apislamis Dam, the Lake of Potamos Dam, and the Lake of Empramiana Dam. Surrounding islands: a large number of islands, islets, and rocks hug the coast of Crete. Many are visited by tourists. Some are visited only by archaeologists and biologists. Some are environmentally protected. A small sample of the islands include Grambuso, the pirate island opposite the Below Lagoon; Elefonizi, which commemorates a shipwreck and an Ottoman massacre; Crete Island, which hosts the largest natural Lebanon cedar forest in Europe; Paximadia Island, where the god Apollo and the goddess Artemis were born; the Venetian fort in Leppo colony at Spinalonga opposite the beach and shallow waters of Elunda; Dionysades Islands, which are in an environmentally protected region together, the Palm Beach Forest of Vi and the municipality of Siscia, Lasithi. Off the south coast, the island of Gavdos is located 26 nautical miles south of Horus-Vakian and is the southernmost point of Europe. Climate: Crete straddles two climatic zones, the Mediterranean and the North African, mainly falling within the former. As such, the climate in Crete is primarily Mediterranean. The atmosphere can be quite humid, depending on the proximity to the sea, while winter is fairly mild. Snowfall is common on the mountains between November and May, but rare in the low-lying areas. While mountain tops remain snow-capped year-long, near the coast snow only stays on the ground for a few minutes or hours. However, a truly exceptional cold snap swept the island in February 2004, during which period the whole island was blanketed with snow. During the Cretan summer, average temperatures reach the high 20s, low 30s Celsius, with maxima touching the upper 30s, mid 40s. The south coast, including the Messara Plain and Astrasia Mountains, falls in the North African climatic zone, and thus enjoys significantly more sunny days and high temperatures throughout the year. There, date palms bear fruit, and swallows remain year-round rather than migrate to Africa. The fertile region around Aira Petra, on the southeastern corner of the island, is renowned for its exceptional year-round agricultural production, with all kinds of summer vegetables and fruit produced in greenhouses throughout the winter. Human geography: Crete is the most populous island in Greece with a population of more than 600,000 people. Approximately 42% live in Crete's main cities and towns, whilst 45% live in rural areas. Administration: Crete with its nearby islands form the Crete region, one of the 13 regions of Greece which were established in the 1987 administrative reform. With the 2010 Kallikratis Plan, the powers and authority of the regions were redefined and extended. The region is based at Heraklion and is divided into 4 regional units. From west to east, these are Hania, Rethymno, Heraklion, and Lasithi. These are further subdivided into 24 municipalities. The region's governor is, since 1 January 2011, Stavros Arnaoutakis, who was elected in the November 2010 local administration elections for the Pan-Hellenic Socialist Movement. Cities: Heraklion is the largest city and capital of Crete. The principal cities are Heraklion, Hania, Rethymno, Aira Petra, Ios Nikolaos, Siscia. Economy. Further information. Economy of Greece. The economy of Crete is predominantly based on services and tourism. However, agriculture also plays an important role, and Crete is one of the few Greek islands that can support itself independently without a tourism industry. The economy began to change visibly during the 1970s as tourism gained in importance, although an emphasis remains on agriculture and stock breeding. Because of the climate and terrain of the island, there has been a drop in manufacturing, and an observable expansion in its service industries. All 3 sectors of the Cretan economy are directly connected and interdependent. The island has a per capita income much higher than the Greek average, whereas unemployment is at approximately 4%, 1/7 of that of the country overall. As in many regions of Greece, viticulture and olive groves are significant. Oranges and citrons are also cultivated. Until recently there were restrictions on the import of bananas to Greece, therefore bananas were grown on the island, predominantly in greenhouses. Dairy products are important to the local economy, and there are a number of specialty cheeses such as Mizithra, Anthotyros, and Kefaloterai. Transport infrastructure. The island has three significant airports: Nikos Kazantakis at Heraklion, the Daskalogiannis Airport at Hania, and a smaller one in Sisha. The first two serve international routes, acting as the main gateways to the island for travelers. There is a long-standing plan to replace Heraklion Airport with a completely new airport at Kasteli, where there is presently an Air Force base. The island is well served by ferries, mostly from Athens, by ferry companies such as Minoan Lines and ANEK Lines. Although the road network leads almost everywhere, there is a lack of modern highways. Although this is gradually changing with the completion of the Northern Coastal Spine Highway. Also, during the 1930s there was a narrow-gauge industrial railway in Heraklion, from Geophyros in the west side of the city to the port. There are now no railway lines on Crete. The government is planning the construction of a line from Hania to Heraklion via Rhythmno Development. Newspapers have reported that the Ministry of Mercantile Marine is ready to support the agreement between Greece, South Korea, Dubai Ports World and China for the construction of a large international container port and free trade zone in southern Crete near Timpaki. The plan is to expropriate 850 hectares of land. The port would handle 2 million containers per year, but the project has not been universally welcomed because of its environmental, economic and cultural impact. As of January 2013, the project has still not been confirmed, although there is mounting pressure to agree it, arising from Greece's difficult economic situation. Tourism. Crete is one of the most popular holiday destinations in Greece. 15% of all arrivals in Greece come through the city of Heraklion, while charter journeys to Heraklion last year made up 20% of all charter flights in Greece. Overall, more than 2 million tourists visited Crete last year, and this increase in tourism is reflected on the number of hotel beds, rising by 53% in the period between 1986 and 1991, when the rest of Greece saw increases of only 25%. Today, the island's tourism infrastructure caters to all tastes, including a very wide range of accommodation. The island's facilities take in large luxury hotels with their complete facilities, swimming pools, sports and recreation, smaller family-owned apartments, camping facilities and others. Visitors reach the island via two international airports in Heraklion and Hania and a smaller airport in Sisha, or by boat to the main ports of Heraklion, Hania, Rhythmna, Ios Nikolaos and Sisha. Popular tourist attractions include the archaeological sites of the Minoan civilization, the Venetian Old City and port of Hania, the Venetian castle at Rhythmno, the gorge of Samaria, the islands of Crete, Elafonizi, Gramvousa, and Spinalonga, and the palm beach of I, which is the largest natural palm forest in Europe. Holiday homes and immigration. Crete's mild climate attracts interest from northern Europeans who want a holiday home or residence on the island. EU citizens have the right to freely buy property and reside with little formality. A growing number of real estate companies cater to mainly British immigrants, followed by German, Dutch, Scandinavian and other European nationalities wishing to own a home in Crete. The British immigrants are concentrated in the western regional units of Hania and Rhythmno, and to a lesser extent in Heraklion and Lassidi. Archaeological sites and museums. There is a large number of archaeological sites which include the Minoan sites of Knossos and Phaistos, the classical site of Gortys, and the diverse archaeology of the island of Koufanouchi, which includes Minoan, Roman, and World War II ruins. There are a number of museums throughout Crete. The Heraklion Archaeological Museum displays most of the archaeological finds of the Minoan era and was reopened in 2014.